Hi guys, welcome back. We're back with Memories Dogma, and we're back after the nice opening we found. Didn't think that making me realize we just finished the prologue. It took so long. No, not that long. But anyway, we're gonna find out who this girl can be, or who she is, what she is to us, and why we all just made agreements to work together. So let's figure that out together, and don't forget to leave me some likes if you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and of course leave me comments and tell me what you guys thought of the chapter as we can discuss. I love discussions. Pick my mind, make me think on things. It's always fun. Anyway, let's get started. The high school we used to go to, Fuchuhoko High, is about 1 kilometer north of Fucho Station. The school gates aren't electronically locked, so instead of your MRD, you just use a key to open them. However, there are a few other places aside from the main gate where you can make your way into the campus. You could call them physical security holes. Everyone at school knows about them, yet they still haven't been fixed. Thanks to that, we were easily able to sneak in. We walk through the unlit hallways and make our way to the audio-visual room.
信じられないくらいセキュリティが緩い学校ね。この現代にこんな場所があるなんて。
Security of this school is unbelievably bad. I can't believe a place like this still exists in this day and age. Just as Reina says, there are almost no buildings in this day and age that don't use MRDs to authorize entry. That's also the reason we avoided our university. Kakeru and I are in the engineering department. It's only natural that an engineering school would have pretty good security. It's impossible to enter the building without your MRD, and if you do use your MRD to gain access, there's a log of who entered at what time. It was Kakeru's request that we use this audio-visual room instead. In today's society, there are Wi-Fi hotspots all over the place that can access just how to verify your ID. This verification process is almost automatic, so you pretty much almost always connect to a Wi-Fi hotspot without having to manually select it. By the way, MRDs are usually also charged through power over Wi-Fi system as well. However, there's no such Wi-Fi in the school. That sounds kind of cool for my phone, at least it wouldn't die. But it's like Big Brother's always staring at you. Instead, this room has a number of cables connected together to create a LAN to be used for informatics classes and will likely require a network connection. Oh my god, a LAN network in this day and age. Okay, a network. First, a network construction to allow communication between devices within the same building or simulating their scope. Most LANs these days use wireless communication networks, but there are still some places that prefer optical fiber or other wired communication methods. Like my computer when I stream. It's just faster. There's a router that connects the LAN to the outside network, so anyone can see from the outside is the global IP of the router. That means all anyone can figure out is that someone connected to the internet from this school. I don't know why I'm clicking on these. I don't know, see if they say something about today's standards. No. In computing, it refers to the machine that allows your device to connect to networks that aren't directly attached to each other. Thank you, router. The IP address you're assigned when you connect to the internet. In order to not duplicate global IP addresses in the world, each device is assigned a unique address. I wonder how it does choose the address. Just random... I don't know. Don't know. I'm not gonna think about it. In other words, this is one of the few places you can connect to the internet without having to be verified through your MRD.
ネットの孤島のようなこの学校に、この俺が感謝する日が来るとは思わなかったぜ。
I never thought the day would come that I'd be thankful for this place to be basically a net island. As he says that, Kakeru takes a seat in the front seat of the classroom and put his bag on top of the desk. He takes out his laptop and his card reader. Reina and I sit down next to him. It feels like the desks are smaller than I remember. It's only been half a year since I graduated, but everything related to my time in high school feels like a faraway memory. My memories of Sorano turn into fragments of the past as well. Now's not the time to be worrying about this.
それで何から始めるんだ?
Alright, so where do we start?
まずはデータの解析からだな。
But first, we've got to analyze the data we got. Kakeru plugs a LAN cable into his laptop. Man, that laptop is old, and starts talking very quickly.
それはそうと、 さっき拝借してきたデータは、正確に言うと、記憶データのコピーじゃないんだ。
Technically speaking, the data I borrowed from the Connect Center isn't exactly a copy of her memory data.
でも、さっきはコピーだって言ってたじゃないか。
Huh? But didn't you just say you copied her memory data?
すまん。あの時は説明する時間がなくて、面倒だったからそう言っただけなんだよ。
Sorry. I didn't have time to really explain it. It would have been a pain, so I just said that to make it easy for you to accept.
さすがに、あの電話型端末に記憶データをコピーする権限はなかったし、コピーできたとしても、このカードの容量じゃ、とてもじゃないけど、人の記憶なんていう膨大なサイズのデータは収まりきらなかっただろうしな。
That phone terminal didn't have the authority to copy any of the data to itself in the first place, and even if it had, there's no way a card like this big enough to hold the enormous amounts of data that constitutes a person's memories. Permissions refers to the user's abilities to access certain files and directories stored on any device. Based on your permissions, every user might have different privileges for a file, whether or not they can read it, whether or not they can write it, or whether or not they can execute it. Sounds like my computer. It's true. A person's memories must take up insane amounts of space. Now that he mentions it, it's pretty obvious a card like this wouldn't have enough capacity to store a person's memories.
それじゃあ、俺たちが必死の思いで奪ってきたあのデータは一体何なんだ？
Then what exactly is this data we work so hard to steal?
鍵だよ。
The key.
鍵？
The key.
む。
Yeah.
このデータは、本物の記憶データが格納されている場所。すなわち、コネクトセンターのデータベースに接続するための暗号鍵なんだ。
It's the key or password required to connect to the database within the Connect Center that actually holds our memories. Let me click on these, aren't I? Encryption key. It just said key. Encryption key. Part of the encryptional algorithm you need to encrypt data. When the same key is used to both encrypt and decrypt data, it's called symmetric key encryption. And when there's a public/private key pair, when the public key is used to encrypt and the private key is used to decrypt the data, is called asymmetric key encryption. Maybe I should do something with computers after this. Database. An efficient framework for organizing large sets of information where the user can easily access and update any subset of information. In a broad sense, you could consider analog paper collections of data such as phone book databases as well, but the term is generally used only to refer to computer-generated databases because a phone book is freaking crazy. And I think I haven't seen a phone book lately, have I? I actually haven't. Anyway.
この暗号鍵を使って、そのデータベースにアクセスするための経路を調べるってわけ。
So we just need to find out what route we need to take to get this password to their database.
じゃあ、その本物の記憶データが伝送されてしまったら。
So then if her memory ends up getting digituned, I think we already did this one, term used the dead person's memories are deleted from Connect Center database. It's small, the word after, I already did this. Japan's traditional funeral practice of entombment information. A person's memories are only stored for 49 days at the Connect Center. Actually, there was another one that went on about that, the 49-day thing. Which is why. Okay.
ああ、お前の考えている通り、このコピーしたデータも無意味になっちゃうな。
Yeah, this data I copied will become useless.
ということは、タイムリミットはあと6日ということか。
So, we've got a 6-day time limit.
てか、もう夜だからな。実質、あと5日だ。
It's already night, so more like 5 days. We've only got 5 days left. It's not a lot of time.
さっき言ってたデータが不完全っていうのはどういう意味なんだ？
So, what did you mean earlier when you said the data you pulled wasn't complete?
コネクトセンターの認証システムってのが、また結構手強いやつでさ。中枢にアクセスするためには、一本の鍵だけじゃ足りないんだ。
The Connect Center's authentication system is pretty good, so in order to access its very heart, one key isn't enough.
どうやら合計で5本の鍵が設定されてるっぽいんだけど、5本目の鍵をコピーしてる途中で時間切れになっちまったから、その鍵だけ不完全っぽいんだよな。
From the looks of it, they've got 5 different forms of authentication. We ran out of time while I was copying over the 5th key, so I wasn't able to get all of it.
まずはどうにかして、5本目の鍵を探さなきゃならないってことだな。
So, before we do anything else, we gotta get the rest of that 5th key.
それってかなり難しいんじゃないのか？
Won't that be pretty hard? I may not be much of a genius as Kakeru, but I'm an engineering student too. I can guess just how difficult it would be to break into the Connect Center's authentication system.
まあまあ、この俺に任せとけって。
No, just leave everything to me. Kakeru is confident before turning back on his laptop. Whenever Kakeru says he'll do something, he does it, so I know he'll pull through. Before long, I start hearing the rhythmic tapping of Kakeru typing away on his keyboard. Listening to him typing starts bringing back memories of high school. Flashback. All we ever really used this audiovisual room for in high school was English listening classes. We had to listen to these people talk in English really fast and then type out what they said word for word. But the teacher would call on people at random and have them repeat what was said. It was a pretty hard class. If you didn't get the right answer, you had to stand until someone else did, so everyone hated that class. It's like all the rules he made were designed to make you suffer. I remember one day after that class, the girl who was sitting in front of me turned to the girl next to her and yelled, "Hey, what the hell? Do you think I'm stupid or something?" Mizunashi Sorano. She was the girl who was being yelled at. It's all but a vague memory now. I wasn't exactly eavesdropping, but since the whole thing pretty much played out in front of me, I more or less figured out what had happened. When the girl called on the answer, she completely blanked. So Sorano whispered the answer to her. Apparently, the girl wasn't very happy about that. I was just thinking, it felt like I didn't know. But because of you, I was forced to stand there and be made a fool of. How humiliating. Honestly, she should be thanking Sorano for trying to help, but there she was just yelling at her. Personally, I thought it was pretty unfair, but Sorano just sat there quietly, making no effort to fight back. To make things worse, the other girls joined in to attack Sorano too. Don't you think you're better than us just because you're a little smart? She never talks. I can't tell what she's thinking. Why don't you say something, huh? It seemed good for us. The more they insulted her, the smaller Sorano seemed to become. But even then, she didn't say anything bad. She just continued to endure the abuse. I felt disgusted watching them gang up on her like that. It was just a spectacle of one-sided abuse. It reminded me of a time when everyone deemed me unnecessary. I didn't even understand why they'd been so cruel, and all I could do was bear the pain and sadness, simply praying for it all to end soon. All that abuse had felt like it stretched on for eternity. Honestly speaking, I never really liked getting involved in fights between girls. I didn't even know anything about Sorano, but just that once, I wasn't able to let it go. If she thought she was too good for you, then she would just sat there and laughed at you. Can't you tell she was just trying to help? I thought I just muttered those words to myself. My voice came out louder than I thought, and all the girls turned around. Sorano too turned around to me in amazement. It was only natural, I suppose. A learner like me who never talked with his classmates had suddenly butt into their conversation. I panicked, trying to think of what to say next. And suddenly someone else joined the conversation as well. It's your guy's fault for being stupid. The one who said those harsh words had been Kakeru. Girls all started off spitting words like unbelievable and who cared? Who does he think he is? As we watched them all leave, Kakeru and I looked at each other and exchanged our very first words. You think I went too far? Nah, I was thinking the same thing. And Sorano finally relaxed and smiled. I remember that part very well. It was a very warm smile, like that of the spring sun. It was from that day onward that our relationship started to grow. Sorano called out to Kakeru and me and took us to a cake shop, Zelkova, as thanks for helping her out in class. Sitting there across from everyone in the corner of that cafe, I felt a profound sense of comfort being with them. My only impression of them before that was that Sorano was a quiet girl and Kakeru was a gadget otaku who was always fiddling with some machine or another. But when I actually talked to them, I realized we got along pretty well. We talked for hours that day, as if we had already been friends for ages. I found out later Kakeru and Sorano had known each other for a while, but never really talked. Of course, they thought of me as a mysterious transfer student. I remember Sorano smiling as she said it was strange how we were able to get along so well despite all that. What's wrong? I came back to my senses only to find Reina staring at me confused.
いや、なんでもない。
No, it's nothing.
ソラノだっけ？彼女のこと？
You were thinking about Sorano, weren't you? That was her name, right? Reina's perceptive comment. I nodded.
さっきあの部屋で、ソラノは何を言おうとしてたんだろうな。
I was wondering what Sorano was trying to tell us back there in that room.
そうね。どれほど脳科学の研究が発展して脳機能の解明が進んでも、その人が今何を考えているかまではわからないのが現状だから。
Yeah, no matter how much neuroscience advances, no matter how much the brain's functionality we can map, we still can't figure out what they're really thinking.
直接ヒロキたちの会話を聞いたわけじゃないから、これは完全な憶測だけど。
I didn't hear a conversation directly, so I'm just guessing. But
状況から察するに、記憶を再現するためのアルゴリズムが何らかの原因で不具合を起こしたのかもしれない。
based off what we know, there must have been something that caused malfunction in the algorithm that used to replicate her memories. Something was hidden. I don't know. The process by which to solve a specific problem. Primarily used to refer to certain steps used to perform specific actions within computer programs. You can also consider implementing an algorithm when someone follows a specific set of procedures they had memorized to perform a certain action. Yeah, I really know. I thought I would say something different in regards to memories, but okay.
記憶の電子化もまだパーフェクトとは言えない状態だから。
The technology used to digitize memories isn't perfect after all.
どういうことだ？記憶の電子化ってもう確立された技術じゃないのか？
Wait, are you telling me that the technology to digitize memories still isn't perfect?
残念ながら必ずしもそうとは言えない部分もある。
Long word. Unfortunately so. Reina coughed slightly and begins to speak.
数年前まで様々な国が脳機能のマッピングやシミュレートを実現させるためのプロジェクトを推進していた。
Up until a few years ago, many countries were trying to map the brain or simulate its functionality.
有名なものだとアメリカのブレインプロジェクトやヨーロッパのヒューマンブレインプロジェクト。
Some of the more famous ones are America's Brain Project and Europe's Human Brain Project.
どこかで一度くらい名前を目にしたことはあるんじゃない？
I'm sure you must have heard of them at least, right?
それらの先行研究のおかげで今では人の脳機能マッピングは完了しているし、E メモリーのような技術の礎にもなった。
It was thanks to their efforts that we'd eventually be able to map the human brain and that technologies like e-memory got developed. I really wonder why I still click on these. Brain function mapping. The attempt to examine what function each portion of the brain has, trying to chart it on a map of sorts. I mean, eventually we'll fill this whole thing out and then I won't have anything left to click on, so there we go.
でも、人の記憶に関する研究については、まだ未知の部分がある。
However, there are still things about human memory that we still don't fully understand.
記憶そのものを電子化することについては確立されているけど、その記憶の再現を実際の脳が行うのと同じように実行することには、まだ限界があるってことよ。
We can digitize the memories themselves perfectly, but when it comes to reproducing them to act like the person, it's the same as trying to replicate the brain itself, and there's still limits to how well we can do that. Like she told us last night, it seemed like she was pretty knowledgeable of people's memories.
レーナって本当に記憶の電子化について詳しいんだな。
You sure know a lot about digitizing memories, Reina.
まあ、このくらいのことは大学にいた頃に勉強したから。
Well, I learned most of this in college. Kakeru suddenly raised his head.
ってことはさ、レイナちゃんは軽く20代半ば。
Wait, that means you're in your mid-20s, Reina?
失礼ね。まだ17歳よ。
Rude, I'm still only 17.
マジで？
Wait, seriously?
俺たちよりも年下だったのか。でも、それだと計算が。
You're younger than us? Wait, but then...
アメリカで飛び級して、12歳の時に大学を卒業したの。
I skipped a lot of grades in America. I graduated college when I was 12. Reina states casually. Okay. You hear about them in the news sometimes, but to think really are people like that in reality who graduate college around the time most people would be graduating elementary school. When I hear about Reina's academic history, I praise her, exclaim in surprise. Yeah, also very praise, I guess.
それはすごいな。
Wow, that's amazing.
そんなことないわよ。ただ、ちょっと早めに課程をクリアしただけのことだから。
Not really, I just made it my way through the system a bit faster than other people.
いやいや、誰にでもできることじゃないだろ。
You're being way too humble. There's no way a normal person could do that.
そうかしら。
Really? I just told her how I felt, but for some reason Reina looked down and a little dejected. I think she wants to be normal. Either way, I now understand that Reina is extensively informed on this topic.
あなたたちは高校生なの？
God, it hurts. Are you two high schoolers?
いや、俺たちも一応工学部の大学生ではあるけど。
No, we're engineering students in college, but hearing that, Reina looks up at us sharply.
そうなの？
Really?
うん、そうだけど。
Yeah, really.
じゃあ、ウィルソン日記教授が半年前に発表したバーチス・インナートン・ダイヤー予想に関する論文ってもう読んだ？
I'm assuming no is the answer to this question. Then have you read Wilson Nike's thesis on the Birch and Swinton Dyer conjecture published half a year ago? I don't know what the heck that is. I definitely need to click that one. One of the Millennium Prize problems detonated by American's Clay Mathematics Institute is considered one of the 7 great unsolved mathematical conjectures of our time. The conjecture is as follows. So there be an elliptical curve E over global field K, but the rank of the algebraic group EK of points of E is equal to the order of 0, L, E, S, as S equal 1, where L denotates the Hassel-Well-L function. No idea what I read, and I've read that right. First person who managed to prove his conjecture is promised $1 million reward by the Institute. Okay. Reina looks straight at me as she asks that question. She's staring at us with excitement and expectant look on her face. In response to Reina's question, I say, sorry, I'm trying to do what you said. I'm sorry, I have no idea what you said. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to follow that at all. I was only able to infer she was talking about a scientific thesis published by a famous professor. I don't really know what I can say about it. Kakeru must have thought the same thing since he hurriedly changed the subject.
ああ、そういえばさ、レイナちゃんは大学を卒業してから何してるんだ？
This is like the world. You ask too many questions. I don't know how to answer you. You suck. Oh, yeah. Come to think of it, what have you been doing since you graduated college, Reina-chan? Huh? Reina's gaze wanders for a bit. Then, after deliberately choosing her words, she says,
最先端の研究開発を行っているところで働いてる。
I'm working at a cutting-edge research facility. Reina doesn't elaborate any further and simply shrugs her shoulders.
私のことはいいでしょ。それより、ソラノの記憶よ。
That's enough about me. Right now, we should focus on Sorano's memories. With that, Reina too abruptly changes the subject. If she's doing cutting-edge research, there's probably classified company secrets she can't talk about. If, as a company, you have an innovative method or algorithm to manufacture your product, or there's some kind of innovation of your product itself, the innovation is economic value to your corporation, which is why if the information is leaked to the general public, you will suffer great economic losses, and in order to prevent that, you usually require your employees to sign NDA contracts. Yay, NDA contracts. Everyone looks so happy right now, right? I decided not to ask any further and instead opt to return to the topic of Sorano's memories. What's important right now isn't Reina-chan's history, but it's Sorano's memories.
記憶データへのアクセスについてはカケルに任せるとして、無事にアクセスできたとしても、また同じエラーが発生してしまう可能性もある。
We can leave accessing the Sorano's memories data to Kakeru, but even if we manage to do it, the same error might occur again.
だから、その他にもアナログ的なアプローチを試してみるのも一つの方法かもしれない。
So it might be worth it to try a more analog approach to things.
アナログ的アプローチってのは、
What
具体的には何をするんだ？
exactly do you mean by a more analog approach?
例えば、ソラノが持っていた持ち物や ソラノが知っている場所が映った画像データを見せてみるとか。
I mean, like, showing her her old belongings or showing her videos of places she knows about.
そんな単純なやり方でソラノの記憶が戻るのか？
Would something that simple really bring her memories back?
もちろん確証はないけど、ね。試してみる価値はあると思う。
Well, I don't have any proof that will work, but there's no harm in trying, right?
まあ、確かにここでカケルの作業を眺めてても仕方ないよな。
Well, but it is better than sitting here watching a character type at least.
いいじゃん。行ってこいよ。こっちは一日でどこまで進めるかわかんねえしな。
Yeah, you might as well try. I'm not even sure how much I'll be able to get done in one day anyway. Okay. 5 days left. 2030, 8/27, August 27th. I think. Yeah, August. Wasn't sure. As we walked outside, the lights of the morning sun beat down on us. I glimpsed and turned away from the light as it pierces my eyes.
さすがに徹夜は辛いな。
Man, all nighters really do a number on you.
そう？そんなに珍しいことじゃないと思うけど。
Really? I thought everyone did this pretty
一
often.
般的にはそうそうあることじゃないだろう。
I would say that most people don't pull all-nighters on a regular basis. Unlike me, I'm kind of with her on that.
ヒロキも工学部の学生なら、そのうち大学の研究室で夜通し実験することになる。
If you're an engineering student, Hiroki, you'll find yourself pulling all-nighters doing experiments in your lab soon enough.
まあ、そうかもな。だって、なんでレイナもついてくるんだ？
You might be right. Wait, why are you following me? Reina was following along like it was completely natural, and when I pointed it out, she just shrugs.
カケルは助言が必要なタイプじゃなさそうだから。
It doesn't look like Kakeru needs our help.
ヒロキはすぐ本題を忘れてフラフラしそうだし。
On the other hand, you look like a wish-washy kind of guy that needs a lot of help, Hiroki. She's cruel. Nice, but cruel. I can't really say anything back since she's right. Seeing me suddenly fall silent, Reina hurriedly continues.
ごめん。気を悪くした。
Sorry, I didn't mean to offend
い
you.
や、別に。他の人からもよく言われるし。
Nah, don't worry about it. I get told that a lot. I remember Kakeru and Sorano telling me I space out too much too. I'm sure that's just the kind of person I look to others.
お前はいつも率直に物を言いすぎるって、先生にもよく言われてたのに、未だに治らなくて。
I remember my teacher telling me that I'm too blunt and saying too much all the time. I still haven't been able to fix it.
先生？大学の？
Teacher, from when you were still in college?
ええ。大学にいた時、すごくお世話になった人。
Yes, there was someone to whom I'm greatly indebted. It was like Reina's looking somewhere far away when she says that. I hesitate to say anything and simply stare at her face. Someone she's greatly indebted to, huh? Speaking of the people you're indebted to, the person who's about to go visit right now is someone I'm greatly indebted to, too.
ところで、どこに向かってるの？
By the way, where are we going?
ソラノの家だ。ソラノの持ち物を借りられるかと思って。
The Sorano's house. I was gonna ask if you could borrow some of her stuff.
それはグッドアイデアね。
That's a pretty good idea. We walk and talk before finally stopping in front of a house. It's the house where Sorano and her big sister Ai live.
ここにソラノの家族が住んでいるの？
It is a nice house, though, I'll give you that. This is where Sorano's family lives?
今ここに住んでいるのは葵さん一人だ。
The only person living here right now is Ai.
葵。
Aoi?
ソラノのお姉さんだ。
Sorano's older sister.
今は朝の7時過ぎか。もう起きてるかな。
Right now it's 7 in the morning. I wonder if she's awake yet. Honestly, there's more important things I should worry about instead of whether or not she's awake. I didn't go to Sorano's funeral. Well, that's not good either. Well, why did I click on funeral? I think I would know this, but Japanese funerals are different, so it's also performed so that everyone can say their final farewells at departure. In Japan, funerals are often involved by a lot of bureaucracy. some in which seems that actually helps study the deceased bereaved family and friends. Okay. So the last time I came here was when Sorano was still alive, and I came over to hang out. I hadn't seen Aoi since then either. I wonder what Aoi thinks of me. I didn't even go to Sorano's funeral. While thinking about all that, I suddenly grew scared of pushing the intercom button. But...
No.
Huh? What is it? Reina pushes the intercom button without any hesitation.
お前って知らない家のインターフォンを平気で押せるんだな。
You're pretty brave being able to push the intercom to a complete stranger's house so easily.
ヒロキがもたもたしてるから代わりに押してあげたんじゃない。
You were being too slow, so I just pushed it for you, Hiroki. We're screwed. As always, she's right, so there's nothing really I can say back to her. As I stand there panicking, suddenly...
Hi.
Hello? I hear a woman's voice over the intercom. It's Aoi's son's voice. It feels like it's been years since I last heard it. Aoi's voice sounds really weak.
俺です。Kusuhara です。
It's me, Kusuhara.
あら、ヒロキ、ちょっと待ってて。
Is it you, Hiroki? Wait there, I'll be right out. Before long, Aoi comes to the front door. She looks even more haggard than I remember. I don't know who you are. I mean, I do know who you are, but hey, you're different. Green hair. Your sister had red, so it's kind of weird. Okay. Despite that, she still smiles warmly upon seeing my face.
いらっしゃい。来てくれたんだ。
Welcome. You came in the end, huh? Compared to the quiet Sorano, Aoi was always a lively one. Though they were pretty different, both sisters had very optimistic side to them and got along very well. I wonder what Aoi must have felt when she saw Sorano lowered into her coffin at the funeral.
お久しぶりです。
It's been a while. Lost for words, I mumbled a vague greeting. This is so awkward. I'm sure Aoi is thinking the same thing. After a short silence. Oh? I noticed Reina staying behind me.
突然お邪魔しちゃってすみません。
Sorry for dropping by so suddenly like this. That's right, I didn't even go to her funeral now. I just showed up with some unknown girl in tow. She has every reason to think badly of me.
そんなことないよ。来てくれてありがとう。Soranoも喜ぶわ。
Not at all. Thank you for coming over. I'm sure Sorano would be glad too. But I still treating me with such kindness.
あなたもSoranoの友達なの？
Are you one of Sorano's friends as well? I asked Reina.
はい。折笠レイナと言います。
Yes, I'm Orikasa Reina. She says so naturally, but I reflectively nudge her elbow and ask,
今思いっきりはいって答えたな。
Hey, why did you say yes so naturally?
細かいことはいいじゃない。
Shh, don't worry about the little details. Oi watches our little exchange with a smile before speaking up.
さあ、私はSoranoの姉でMizunashi葵です。よろしくね。
I see. Well, I'm Mizunashi Aoi, Sorano's older sister. Nice to meet you. Oh my god, it's cute to remember. Alright, but I'm gonna wrap it up there. Seems a good place as any since we're now in the house. And we have found something to do. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye! Kaze out.